Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here with a little update on the Dougherty Dozen as well as Katie Sorensen. There are, I think, interesting updates for both. So if you're interested, please keep watching. Alright you guys, so we're going to start out with the Dougherty Dozen because I'm sure that several of you are interested in what I'm going to talk about. Wow. You know, just when I think Alicia can't do any worse, she does worse. And she proves me wrong. So congrats, Alicia, on being a terrible person. And let's just start out with what I left off with after finding out that they were going to Vegas, even though it's a sensory overload for kids who, have that elevated or different kind of level of care. Taking these kids to Vegas is sensory overload, and I think that it goes to show just she either doesn't care or she's exaggerating what medical needs her kids have. The last video I did, I talked about how they were going to Vegas with their 12 kids and how I felt like this was a security concern, because it is. It simply is. When you are traveling with 12 kids that are well known from social media and you are announcing your destination days before you even arrive, you are giving people a heads up to exactly where you're going to be. And sure enough, as soon as they landed, one of her kids, who is on social media, posted the hotel that they were staying at within hours of their arrival. Everybody knows where they're staying. They have the backpacks that are all matching with their names on them. Their faces are well known because they've been plastered all over so many different social media platforms by Alicia. Hey guys, I also wanted to add this in here as I'm editing. Alicia went on a little shopping extravaganza because she can't help herself and she bought out all of Target. The photo is right here, and she also went ahead and told everybody the hotel that they are staying at. So not only did one of her kids go ahead and share their location, but she also did as well because, well, why does safety matter, right? She's had people in her comments section, and I'm not going to show those comments, but you can find them on TikTok. The only reason I'm not going to show them is because I don't think that these people were intentionally being hurtful by leaving these comments, but there were people saying, hey, I'm staying at the same hotel. Hey, I saw you and your family in the lobby last night. Hey, I saw you guys did, da da da. I wanted to say hi. I didn't. All of these kinds of comments. So all that it takes is one person with one bad intention, and this trip could go south so quickly. You literally don't do this. This is the worst way to family vlog. Oversharing about your kids, announcing trips that you're going on ahead of time, allowing your kids that are on social media, even though they shouldn't be, tell their social media what hotel you're staying at. Been to Vegas, and I know what it's like there, and it is not a place that I would want to travel with 12 children, just saying. So aside from the security issues and all of that kind of stuff, in between they're announcing going to Vegas and the actual Vegas content that they're posting, she also posted a video. She actually posted 2 videos of her kids trying the Grimace shake. And the Grimace shake is at McDonald's right now, whatever. The issue with this video that she posted is the kinship girl is in her underwear. And she's posted, you can literally see her underwear on the thumbnail. You don't even have to click on the video. So why on earth the Dougherty Dozen fans that want to say that I'm reaching and nothing is wrong and all of this kind of stuff, you're telling me that you are okay with a kinship placement teenage girl being shown in her underwear to over 6 million people on TikTok? If that is your standard, then I think your standard is garbage. Now, she also went ahead and shared her kids doing roll calls from Vegas. I hate the roll calls. You guys know how I feel about that. I'm not going to rant for a really long time about it. But, lining up your kids, like, they're supposed to be on vacation. Don't make them worry about making content. Don't make them worry about doing roll calls. Just allow them to be kids. Allow them to not be filmed for a few days. I am pretty sure that you'll be okay if you don't film your kids for a couple of days and allow them to just enjoy the vacation. Allow them to enjoy, whatever activities are kid friendly that they're planning on doing out there. Allow them to enjoy that time without Alicia having her damn phone in their face. The meals have to be filmed. The roll calls have to be filmed. The packing has to be filmed. This woman posted an over 4-hour long video of packing for Vegas. The audacity that you are expecting people that subscribe to your channel to actually watch 4 hours of nonsense tells me that she has a massive ego. But that's like a lot of other family vloggers. So they're uploading content from Vegas, and hey, here's the thing. I understand that if this is your full-time job, vacations aren't necessarily like a vacation for a lot of other people. But it also doesn't mean that you have to film everything. Every single thing that you're doing, every single thing you're eating, making sure that you're doing the roll calls, making sure you're showing every little item that goes into their carry-on. It is just excessive. And when the content takes this much of a front seat, to me, I don't look at it like a vacation. These kids have to do this all the time when they're at home. Why not allow them a couple of days of not participating in any content? Now, from what I've gathered, Alicia and Josh are in Vegas because they are going to renew their vows. And she posted this little transition video. The transition was rather sloppy, if I want to be petty about it. But nevertheless, here's the thing. I don't focus on people's looks. But what I do focus on is the fact that I don't think that Alicia is not an attractive person. But it's her personality, and it's the way that she uses her kids, and it's the way that she has excused drinking heavily, even though a lot of her kids have FASD. And it's the way that she, brushed under the rug that she had to hide White Claws because they were disappearing from the garage. It's just the way that she has used her children as a way to build this brand that we now know as the Dougherty Dozen.
In case you're wondering why I have White Claw in my bedroom, I can't keep it in the garage anymore. It was just like disappearing. I don't know. Suspicious activity. So now it has to get locked in my room.
She has these kinship kids, and she is not focused on reunification. She wants to keep these kids. Any person who is an advocate wants reunification with the parents. Point blank, period. If you are an advocate. If you're not, just say that you're not. And I don't think that Alicia is. I think that she is a fake savior, and I will say that every single video if I have to. Don't care if it gets annoying. Because I think that the woman is just her personality, quite frankly, it just makes my skin crawl, the lack of ethics that she has displayed for such a long period of time. And of course, just like they do at home, what are they doing in Vegas as far as diet goes? Cheeseburgers, french fries, candy, ice cream, sugary cereals, and a couple of strawberries, just so that the viewers don't get upset with her. But I can see right through it. It's, and vacation food can be really fun to like go on a little, bender of cheeseburgers and junk food or cotton candy or whatever. But the problem with this is that Alicia does this all the time. This is their normal diet, and she has the financial means to feed these kids a really well-balanced diet, and she chooses not to. I understand that money and diet kind of coexist, because if you don't have a ton of extra cash flow, then you have to work with what you have. That's not what I'm talking about. When it comes to her kids, when it comes to her pets, I see the common denominator of, we have the money to do this and give a really well-balanced, high-value meal to these kids and, again, to her pets. But what I see her doing is just shoveling all of the junk down their throats, giving the dogs rawhides and, kibble that most likely contains meat byproduct, which is, don't get me started on that. I'm not a vet, but I do have some basic knowledge when it comes to dog food because I have a dog. But I think that Alicia is just an awful person. I really do. And I don't think that I'm going to change my mind about that. I know that my opinion does not matter to her, but she's literally allowing these kids on social media. There was a comment on one of the younger kids who has their own social media over on Instagram. Someone left a comment saying, "Are you single?" And Alicia is, she knows that this child is on social media because Alicia has participated in videos for the child's social media. So I don't want to hear about, oh, maybe Alicia doesn't know. She does know. And let's be honest, if you have 12 kids, you better also be able to keep tabs and know exactly what all of these kids are doing every hour of the day, and especially when it comes to what they're doing on their devices, because we are living in a digital age right now of people preying upon young children via social media. And it's the parents' job to make sure that they are fully in tune, they know what's going on. The kids shouldn't even have their own social media page, because this girl who has her own social media is not 13 years old, which is actually against Instagram's terms of service. So nevertheless, a lot of her kids have their own social media pages, and I get it. Like, once they're a little older, that's a different conversation, but not when they're this young. It's weird. Now let's go to the Katie Sorensen update. She was sentenced to 90 days in jail. 90 days, that's all. She's not going to serve all of those 90 days. Let's hope that she serves a good percentage of them. So Katie Sorensen's victims are not happy with this sentence, and I fully back them. I fully support them. What she pulled, all for social media clout, was disgusting. And I'll link other videos down below in case you're like, who is Katie Sorensen? What's the deal? You can go check those out. But is it better than nothing? Sure. But should it have been a lot more than 90 days, in my opinion? Absolutely. These people who will do absolutely anything for clicks and followers, whether it's lying about other people, using their kids, using people who have not properly consented, no matter what it is, I literally say this is why people can't stand vloggers. And I'm doing another video right after this, so you guys will see that as well. But we're going to talk about this other TikToker who threw a hissy fit at TJ Maxx because the cashier politely asked her to not film in the store. Either way, it's just such a mess, and this is why people hate influencers. But Katie Sorensen was sentenced to 90 days, and let's hope that she serves her 90 days and just disappears from the internet. How embarrassing. And imagine, like, that's your mom. Imagine reading about this 10 or 15 years later of what your mom did for some clicks and views on Instagram. Oof. Either way, I wanted to bring you guys that update. So tell me how you feel about this Dougherty Dozen stuff. You guys know that I'm not really covering them on a super consistent basis anymore, just because Alicia has shown time and time again exactly who she is, how little she cares, and how many times can I say the exact same thing? I'm not here to snark on her awful cooking or anything like that. I do think the diet speaks loudly, but I also don't want to, come to you guys and literally just say the same exact thing, because she is not going to change, and she does not care. She doesn't care what I have to say. She doesn't care what you have to say. And she doesn't care what her bestie Auntie Lauren has to say, because Lauren is just cheering her on all the way to the finish line. But nevertheless, that's going to be it for now. So if you like the video, please leave a like in the comments. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.